I have gone off, shot, thrown a fit, had a cow, whatever anybody wants to say, openly about a lot of things that have gone on in the National Wrestling Alliance. I do it not because I dislike someone, as a lot of people assume. It's not because I just want to hear myself go off. It's because I still believe in what the three letters have always stood for: professional wrestling at its best. The National Wrestling Alliance, the oldest governing body of professional wrestling in the world, has now gone beyond being dragged through the mud. It is at the bottom of the pigsty. I am saying this very bluntly, that it is not because of the wrestlers. It is because of management. It is because of ownership. It is because of a lot of chiefs and not enough Indians, and people that are wearing the headdresses as the chieftain, not comprehending what professional wrestling is all about. The first thing that I absolutely went off about some time back was the ending of the 7 levels of hate in Australia with Adam Pearce and Colt Cabana. I threw a fit about how disrespectful it was, how ridiculous it was, and I'm going to say this right now. I do not take back that it was disrespectful. I do not take back that it buried the belt, nor do I take back that it buried the NWA. Nothing has been done to recover the quality, the integrity, or the respect for the world title since that happened. That was the beginning of the end. I further am going to go on and say, even though that was supposed to be a controlled, and nobody ever hears me break kayfabe, that was supposed to have been a controlled shoot. All it did was take the integrity away from the NWA itself and from the world title that has long been respected as the only world title that meant a damn thing. That was supposed to have been controversy surrounding the belt. All it did was make it look like shit. And now I'm going to go out on an even further limb and say I have absolutely no respect for Adam Pearce now. Because not only did he do that bullshit to add controversy to what was going on for the world title to make people look at the NWA, now Mr. Adam Pearce, who says, the NWA means nothing to me and I don't want your belt, is once again right back in the hunt for what? A National Wrestling Alliance title. Well, if the letters didn't mean anything back in Australia, why the hell do any one of the 3 letters mean a damn thing to you now? If you're going to be a man and stand up for this business, then fucking be a man and stand up for the business. Don't do something to put a little more money in your pocket. Now, the next thing I'm going to go off about is that everybody heard me go off saying that Cahagas been into something that he couldn't handle, shooting on Bruce Santee. Well, what a lot of people didn't know is that I knew the whole story the minute it happened. Again, this was a quote-unquote controlled shoot to bring controversy to the NWA World title, as well as save face not only for Bruce Santee, who was looked over by the board of directors to even be in the world title hunt, and to, of course, keep Cahagas strong because he's the world champion. I'm going to openly say now that I bashed Cahagas probably for the wrong reason. I bashed him because he looked bad. The truth is, he's not the one who deserves the bashing. The truth is, the NWA deserves the bashing for asking for that to ever happen. Now, I'm sure everybody's hearing me say this and saying, oh my God, Tasha always says believe in the NWA no matter what. And I have. But the reason I'm saying this is because tonight's a really special show. because tonight is my farewell, not only to the To Be Determined show, but I will no longer be stepping in the ring as a professional wrestler. I am going to continue training because I have said week in and week out, it's the job of a veteran to make sure that these young kids know what their job is. I am still managing very, very little. I am weaning myself out of all live events. The only reason that I'm continuing to manage at all is so that my trainees can learn to get their feet, and I'm weaning myself away from them so they can stand up for themselves in the locker room, and I won't have to worry about being there to watch their backs because they are at a point in their careers now they can do it on their own. I have been very blessed in professional wrestling, not only with trainers, but some very amazing friends, 3 of which I'm talking to right now, who are on the air with me. I have some wonderful fans all over the world, and I have memories that I couldn't trade or would not trade even if given the opportunity. Professional wrestling has been a huge part of my life for a very long time. Unfortunately, professional wrestling is not like it was when I trained. There is very little respect left in professional wrestling. There is very little integrity left in professional wrestling.
Amen.
And to be real honest with you, when somebody can get a job because of the way they suck dick rather than the qualities that they can put in the ring and the talent that they can put in the ring, that is truly not something I want to continue to be a part of. And with that, I want to tell all of my friends, my wrestling family, and my fans, I love you very much. Please keep fighting. As I said, I am going to continue to train, but you will not be seeing me in a professional wrestling ring anymore. And I hope that I have cleared the air about everything that everybody has heard me complain about with the NWA. Also, something I haven't touched on, I've complained about Casey Carlisle religiously. I don't take any of that back. She's fat, she's overweight, she doesn't look like a champion, and she should have never had that belt to begin with. And I'm going to stop now before I start crying.
I think I speak for everyone here and for everyone that has watched you over the years. Nothing but respect. We thank you for everything that you've brought, not only to the To Be Determined show, but to the wrestling ring as well. Leaving everything, bumps, bruises, time away from family, leaving completely everything in the ring, and we do appreciate it. Eddie?
I think the word respect right now is a damned understatement. I mean, you and I really haven't known each other really that incredibly long, but I will say this. For the length of time that we have worked together and hung out and done shows, there is a huge amount of respect from me to you, and it is genuine, it is heartfelt. You are a professional. I say that not because it's a multisyllabic word that I can pay $1.25 for on any dictionary site. I say it because it's gospel. I say it because it's truth. You are appreciated. You are respected by more people than you know.
Thank you.
Matt?
You know what? That was actually pretty hard to listen to. For somebody who's put so much time into wrestling business, just to feel that way as she's leaving, and, it's kind of like disillusioned me to like professional wrestling. I'll continue to watch it, but still, it's kind of like really shitty how some things end up working out. My only regret is that I never got to see you I say wrestle, I really mean to say work with my own 2 eyes outside of watching YouTube.
Well, I want to make something really clear to everybody, too, especially to y'all. I don't want anybody to think that I don't love professional wrestling. I do. Unfortunately, what I call professional wrestling no longer exists. And unless other people are willing to stand up and fight for it, there is nothing that can be saved. And something that you guys know that our listeners don't know is that I am also going to be a grandma come June. And things like that can sometimes put a little different perspective on our lives. Is wrestling very important to me? Yes, it's been a part of my world since I was a child. It's not something that I just woke up one day and said, I want to be a professional wrestler. This is something I've been around all of my life. But it's not the same. And no matter how hard-headed I am or how much I say we can save it, the truth is, if nobody else wants to save it, there's not a whole lot left that can be done. And there's some very important people in my life going through some very huge challenges right now. And I think that right now is a very good time for me to step away from professional wrestling to help them face the challenges ahead of them in their lives, and for me to quit being so selfish and trying to save something that I'm not sure if it can be saved anymore or not.
Do you mind? If I could for a short second, Tasha, I understand where you're coming from. I genuinely do. Because you know how everybody here knows how long I've been a part of this business on and off. Started training in 84, first match 85. I've worked in a number of different states for a number of different promotions. I've done everything from ring crew to clean up to take tickets to run my own promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I know where you're coming from. And I'm going to sit back and say this. It's a lot of the know-it-all, too much too fast, pains in the ass, who think that they're God's gift to this ever-loving business, and that are pushing people that care about this away, down and out. We have said on this show more times than I can count, and I know we say it because we mean it. We have to keep check in our own locker rooms. We have to be able to understand what respect means. I know people in this business that respect themselves more than they respect anybody else that they put their bodies on the line with every week when they work. It's all about me. If it ain't all about me, it's all about me. Well, guess what, assholes? It ain't. Plain and simple. We talk about it. We try to preach it, and we try to practice it. But it's going to take more of the real veterans of this business, of this sport, of this industry, of this thing that I love, professional wrestling. Hell, it's one of the reasons it cost me my damn marriage. But I understand. And you're dead solid perfect on your point. You're absolutely right. Tosh?
Just the bottom line is nobody's bigger than professional wrestling. And I can honestly say that I'm not sad about stepping away. And I think that is probably the saddest part. That the business has gotten to the level that I can say I'm not sad about walking away.
With that being said, Tasha, your last match was this past Sunday. How do you feel about that being your last match?
I didn't get to wrestle. I was at home in bed with 104-degree fever. I have been battling the flu and a lot of other stress going on in my life for almost a week now. I have actually lost almost 15 pounds since this last Friday.
I found it. You can have it back.
I would love to have it back. I don't look good emaciated. The guys heard it before everybody else tuned in. My daughter actually tried to, as she said, roofie me by putting something in my water so that I couldn't say that my food was coming back up. She was trying to give me something to make me stop throwing up so that I would eat. And it didn't exactly melt away into my water without taste like it should.
So what was your last match?
Casey Carlisle.
Wow. Will you rule out sometime down the road having another match?
Yes.
Or are you just done?
I'm
You're ruling
done.
it out completely. Done. Walking away.
I'm done.
Let me ask you this. Are you going to sell your boots?
Yes.
Okay, you're done.
I'm done. When I say I'm done, I'm done. Now, there's a catch to that, though. The question is who would have feet small enough to wear my boots? Or as my daughter said, who would be stupid enough to try and buy my boots to sell them? Is what my daughter said.
The Roadrunner?
I don't know what you're going through. I'll be honest with you. I don't have kids with children. I'm not about to be a grandfather, anything like that. This is not about me. This is all about you. But I will give my opinion on this. I think you should fucking take the boots and burn them. Don't sell them. You should fucking burn them. If you're really serious about it, burn them, because that is the warrior way out. Those boots have seen more mat time and more work time than most people who call themselves workers in this business. Let's be honest. If you're really serious about them, don't sell them, because nobody can fill those boots. Burn them. That's my opinion.
No, I agree. The truth is, I won't sell my boots. Will I ever wrestle again? No. Now, here is the thing that all of you don't know yet. Have I started doing MMA training? Yes.
Ooh.
So you saw, you're like, I'm coming for you, Rhonda.
No, right now I'm not even caring about competing. It's more just to work off frustrations from the stress in my life and everything. But you never know. You never know.
Well,
how good's your armbar?
I actually, before I passed out last week from being sick, I actually trained last week with a fever, and we had a guest trainer actually. Kid Cash came in and trained with my guys last week. It was a total surprise to them. They had no idea. And we did a Greco-Roman free spar with all of the guys, and Cash had me actually doing the Greco-Roman drill with my biggest trainee. And bless his little heart, Cash was dogging him because he was telling him how he was getting manhandled by a girl half his size. And I said from a globet, or as most people would call it, I mean, it's just a choke, but a globet to an arm block. And Cash was calling it like you would be calling a play-by-play on professional wrestling. It was absolutely hysterical. So there you go.
the question is did Kid Cash kill anybody?
No, he was actually...
Okay, then it was a good day.
It was a real good day.
He was actually very mellow. I was in complete shock.
That's great. That's great. Tasha, we appreciate it once again. We didn't want this to become emotional. We have scheduled NWA World Champion Cahagas, the Tokyo Monster Cahagas, I guess I should say, coming up after our first break. But really quick, before we've got about 3 minutes left in the break, what has been and what was your favorite match in your career?
Oh, wow. Any of my matches with Miss Texas.
Jackass.
I can honestly say of every opponent that I have ever had throughout my career. And I haven't worked, I mean, I've worked a lot of shitty wrestlers, male and female. But I was blessed to be able to have a really good rapport with Jackie in and out of the ring. She is an absolutely incredible talent. And I truly enjoyed my feud with her because we never held back. It was never anybody worrying about hitting somebody too hard, pulling hair. We just went out and did what we did. We just wrestled. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And to actually be able to be a part of the USWA when it meant something to be the USWA and to have wrestled for world-class championship wrestling in Texas. And to be able to say, not only do I know people with these names like Chris Adams and Yvonne Eriks, but to have had them actually touch my career as trainers, as mentors, that is something that you could never trade for anything in the world in a wrestling lifetime. And it's something that so many people in professional wrestling now would never, ever, ever, ever in their wildest dreams be able to even imagine experiencing. I've been very blessed in my career. I've been blessed with the people who have touched my life as friends, as mentors, as teachers. I've just been very blessed. And I hope that as I walk away, someday somebody will be able to say, Tasha touched my part of my career, like some of these people did mine.